Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
Hey, this is Loral, and welcome back to Loral's Real Money Talk, the podcast where we're talking about becoming millionaires, how to make money, how to keep money, how to invest money, how do you do it with the team, how does this all work, what's the system and blueprint to become a millionaire in 3 to 5 years. It's not difficult. With all of the new asset classes and things going on in the world, there are millionaires literally happening in less than 12 months. So you need to be a part of it. And today I have someone who actually has an app, a system for you to track your goals, track your results. So let's listen in and do this amazing interview with Dr. Dave. So we're just going to jump right into this. 2022 goal setting. How does it happen? And not only how do you set goals, how do you achieve goals? As many of you know, New Year, New You is our conversation. You don't get resolutions. Like resolutions don't happen. Like if you really think and dissect the word resolutions, it's about a resolve. And you're not resolving anything. You want to go for a result. So none other than Dr. Dave that I bring from Oola. He's the founder. Dr. Dave, Dr. Troy developed, this has been going on for a long time. I'm going to let him tell you the backstory of this Oola app, which has now become the most extraordinary app of goal setting, accountability, and helping you get what you deserve. So Dr. Dave, welcome to—
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for having me. Super excited. You're talking my language. Goal setting, new year. Getting into really, what we always talk about all the time is it's not a secret, it's a system. There's a framework to truly hitting your goals and living your best life. And I know we're going to talk about that today, which thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about it.
So talk a little bit about the backstory. Like we just started in July, because I was part of your launch of the Oola app, and now it's a direct sales, and we're building this huge networks. But before that, you guys have been doing this for years. Give me a little backstory of why this is so important to you.
Yeah, the backstory goes way back to 1997. I learned this process from Dr. Troy. I was a young guy working for him, getting my doctorate, and I was working at his clinic. And he said, "You're going to do well in business. You're going to do well with money. That's you're good at that. But there's other areas of life to be truly successful in life. You have to be successful in 7 key areas." And that was the first time I've ever heard of that. So after I graduated, he actually took me to Vegas, and we sat at the floor at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas, 1997. And we planned our life in these 7 key areas: fitness, finance, family, field, which is your career, faith, friends, and fun, and the 3 simple steps. And that was the beginning of Oola for me. That was the beginning of the framework for me, is that I looked at where I was in these 7 key areas: what kind of dad, what kind of husband, what kind of money, what kind of investments, what I was doing for my career, my faith walk, everything. And then second day was, now where do I want to go? What are my goals, the dreams for that? And the third day was, how are you going to get there? What's your plan to make that happen? What's the path that you're going to take? So that was the first time I learned about Oola, and young man in my late 20s, and followed that system, found success in all 7 key areas. Dr. Troy moved overseas. Around the age of 30, I drifted from the system of Oola because I thought, man, I hit it at the big house with racquetball court and cool cars, married kids, the whole thing. And where I found myself in 2007, 8, 9, because I had drifted from that system for about 5, 6 years, was I found myself going through, losing everything in 2007, 8, 9, going through a bankruptcy, divorce, the whole thing. And at that exact same time, Troy was fully retired at 42 years old, married to his high school sweetheart, living an incredible life, houses around the world, and working on his faith walk and staying fit, running Ironman, living Oola. And I was living in a motel on the bad side of town, broke, no job, no wife, no kids, like a country music song. And I reconnected with him, and he said, you have to get back to Oola. You have to get back to this framework. And I said, if this works for me, we're going to share this with the world. And I re-implemented that into my life around 2008. It took me to 2012 to really start living my life to my potential again, like really living a great life. And we wrote the first book, Oola, Find Balance in an Unbalanced World. And it became an international best-selling book. We wrote a couple more books, launched a Oola coaching network, coaches all 50 states, 21 countries now. And then in July, we have over 1 million people following Oola and using Oola. And in July, we launched Oola Global, which is our initiative to impact 1 billion lives over the next 7 years, called the 1B7 Initiative. And it's a fully customizable digital goal setting platform, personal development platform, to help people really, really reach their true potential.
I love it. And those of you that are listening, you are going to have an opportunity to not only get this app, live and set goals and all of that. I want to jump past the goal setting for a minute and get to the goal achievement, to the result, Dave. Why is it that so, like you said earlier, like you fell away from the system? But let's talk about just the 92%, as you were telling me before the broadcast, that don't make it. Like what happens to them?
Man, I love.
I mean, you're the expert in this. You've got the international bestseller. I mean, I have my ideas. I've studied with Bob Proctor, and everybody kind of knows my backstory of being successful doing this as well. But you're the deep expert. I want to roll up your sleeves and dissect a little bit.
Yeah, I want to give completely practical stuff people can implement right away, because in the United States, 8% of people hit their goals, 92% don't. We just came from our annual event, Oola at the beginning of December. And we said, how many people in this audience, there's 3 levels of people at this huge auditorium, how many people have hit their goals? And it was over 92% raised their hand that they actually hit their goals, because they are actually living life by design versus living life by default, because they're following a system. And there's really, really key things that people that are hitting goals, living their true life and really living out their true purpose that they're doing. And number one is they're actually setting goals. That's the number one thing. Like so many people just live life by default. That's what I was doing in 2000, like yep. 2001, 2002. I thought I hit it. I was just living life. I was waking up on Monday, doing my thing, coming home, playing with the kids, waking up on Tuesday, doing my thing. I had no direction for my life, no design for my life. So the first thing you need to do is you need to actually design your life, build a blueprint for your life on where you want your life to go. So that's the number one thing. And then number two is you have to really make sure when you're designing your life, you're setting your goals following what we call the modified SMART format. They have to be specific and measurable. You have to be held accountable. They have to be realistic and linked to time. So you have to learn how to set goals properly and start setting those goals that you can be working on every single day towards living your real life. So number one, designing your life, following a blueprint, making sure you're following a SMART format. And then we can go all the way into talking about blockers, saying that this is where dreams go to die. Yep. Getting stuck in fear, guilt, self-sabotage. There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah, but before we go to the blocks, before we go there, we're so aligned in all of these conversations. But let's talk about the realistic part of goals, because that's where I see so many people, right? Given our conversation with money, they've never made 100,000 as an entrepreneur, much less say, well, I'm going to make $1 million this year. All right. Like I know I just know money, but I've been doing this for so long, and so many unrealistic goals are set within not only a month, like weeks. It's just like, oh yeah, I'll never get there, because there is no team and system behind that business that they wanted to achieve that money with. So talk a little bit about the reality. What are some indicators, maybe a scorecard that they can set some realistic goals? And I'm just going to say across the board, especially to you women out there, it is not a race against other people. This is about you doing your personal best, not about, well, Loral did it, or Dave did it, or Susie did it, or Sam did it. There's this competitiveness that I feel like people get tracked by and don't set a realistic goal. So give some guidelines. How do people set goals realistic to what they're doing?
Yeah, I think the key word is realistic. Like you have to get really realistic with exactly where you are, your past performance. We see both ends of the spectrum. We see people setting goals too small, and we see a lot of people setting goals too big. So if you know the Oola story, we drive this 1970s VW bus across the country collecting dreams. There's over 147,000, 27 layers thick of stickers where people write their goal that they want to achieve. And when you pull the bus up to a coffee shop or donut shop, it's been to all 48 states, and all the book signings, it was at Oolapalooza and everything. But people either don't have any idea. Most people just tear up. They have no idea what they want for their life. That's living life by default, not by design. But once they start going, okay, now I do want to live life by design. I see that there's areas in my life I want to improve. They are either, some are right on, but most of them are too small or too big. Like you said, most people are broke, but they want to be millionaires by February. Or they have a terrible marriage, but they're going to fix it in a week after it's been 20 years of their marriage slowly degrading over time. And then there's other people who are like broke and they just want to make an extra $20 a month within the next year, where they need to think a little bigger. And this is where just get really realistic and also lean on people who've done it before, not your neighbor who has no idea about finances that's trying to tell you how to get rich quick, but really truly look at your life and say, this is where I am in the 7 key areas. This is where I want to go. I'm going to set realistic goals. And I'm going to actually call people. I just finished my goals for 2022. And one of them was hiking rim to rim, which is a 29-mile hike through the Grand Canyon. I called 3 or 4 people and I said, what do I need to prepare? Like, could I do this physically? Like what, and another goal I have is 10% body fat by my 50th birthday this summer. And I went and got a DEXA scan. So I know exactly where I am on my body fat. I talked to a couple of trainers about exactly what I need to do to hit that in 6 months. So you have to just get very realistic by leaning on people who've done it before and using them as inspiration, and then looking at your life and say, could I track to that? What are some challenges that are going to get in the way of me hitting 10% body fat? Well, I got a lot of travel coming up, and that's where I really fall short because I'm eating out a lot. And then you really start to just really design your life, not live by default, but live by design. So just talking to people that have done it before, look how they've done it, seeing what you can do, what are your shortcomings going to be, what are your challenges, and how do you overcome them? What do you need to do to build that accountability group around you to push you through?
That's awesome. Now let's go to barriers. Let's go to what happens once they set their goals, right? The things, is it fear? Is it, the thing I just got to put a big banner across, and I just heard you say, and I'll put a different word on it, is mentor. You've got to have someone who's already been there. So you've got to have accountability partners. You've got to talk to people, especially those that have walked the path before you. But then fear sets in, doubt sets in. Talk about that. Talk about not only what it is, we know those things. How do people overcome it? Give us some techniques.
Yeah, I love this conversation because it's exactly that. You design your life. You now have a blueprint. You say, okay, these are my goals. I talk to people. I know this weight loss goal is realistic. I know that this investment goal is realistic. This debt pay down goal is realistic, whatever it is. You have this framework, this blueprint, and then you go out the door on Monday morning and you run into what are called blockers. This is where the number one place dreams go to die. Once they've been set, you follow the SMART format, this is where they die. We've interviewed thousands and thousands of people. This is where they die. Why didn't you hit this goal? It's because I ran into fear and I never actually went to the gym, or I ran into fear and I never set up that counseling appointment for my spouse and I to work on our marriage, or I ran into guilt where I felt guilty about what I've done before and I couldn't move forward, just carrying that weight of guilt with me. Or another big one is run into self-sabotage, which is I just don't feel worthy of having that money or that career or that business, that man, that woman, whatever it is. So really hitting these blockers, fear, guilt, self-sabotage, anger, laziness. We talk about 7 most common blockers in the Oola book and all in the framework. And then the system to work through that is a real simple system we call Ready, Set, Go. This is what we teach at Oola. We teach it inside the framework. Is Ready is just acknowledging that blocker. Like, I'm using me as an example. I want to hit 10, I'm going to hit 10% body fat on my birthday. Like, I will do this. What am I going to run into? Well, I could run into laziness, because when I'm on the road and there's these amazing food places in the South and restaurants, and I'm going to get a little lazy with my diet. So I know that's going to be a blocker. So I have to acknowledge that by saying, I'm going to get ready, by calling it out that I'm going to run into this blocker. And then you set it in its place. What does my life look like if I give in and eat those nachos, which is amazing in the moment, but it's not part of my plan? Yep. What does my life look like if I hit my birthday and I don't hit that weight and I don't hit my number one goal that I've set for my life? And what does my life look like if I actually hit that goal and I hit my 10% and I feel better and I look better and I have more energy? And then what's my action step? What am I going to do? What am I going to do when I know I'm going to be faced with that blocker? It's going to get in the way. What do I need to do to overcome that? And for me, it's that accountability, that piece you were talking about right before. Is I actually posted my goal on my social media and said, I'm going to be 10% body fat. So if you see me at nachos, you call me out. Like, you make sure I'm on track for this goal. So it's really using that Ready, Set, Go process to break through those blockers.
So talk to those who, because I see this as big sabotage. I call it just their family and friends. I call it inherited behaviors. With money, so many people have inherited behaviors and they listen to their family and friends. So instead of having someone, what accountability to me is calling you out, right? That's saying, Dave, remember you posted this and you said that's accountability. It's not the person who's going to be out there on the road with you and you just had an amazing event or amazing experience and you're like, let's go celebrate, let's go have nachos. They're not those people who are like, it's just one day. Like, what do you do to those people? Because there's a whole heap of those who, I don't know that they're intentionally or maliciously sabotaging you, but they are those people. Because I'm 20 something year, 30-year road warrior. So I get what you're talking about, but it's like, oh, you can just do it one more time. What do you do to set yourself up to win like that? Because those
Yeah.
like, that's in every area. You got those people are like, it's okay today, just skip the gym once, or just skip the whatever the goal or whatever the thing is you're supposed to be doing, the action.
Yeah, I mean, real simply, hang out with different people, real simply.
Well,
But
that's what I said. I say
it's
this all the time. So I'm just getting some more evidence out here that I mean, I say successful people say the same thing, but what other things could they do? Let's go here. What's the narrative to set up yourself for success? I mean,
yeah. So one of the things we teach really in depth is making sure when you set your goals, they're your goals. So they're not your mom and dad's goals, your teacher, preacher, they're your goals. So start with the life you want to design for your life and question that and be very self-aware. So I think the word we could talk about in this category is self-awareness, and being super self-aware of, do you want to hit 10% body fat? Do you want to pay off that debt? Do you want to have that marriage? Why do you want to have that marriage? And digging into the why, which is always the driving force behind the purpose that's going to lead you to really accomplishing this goal, is just going all in on discovering that self-awareness on why do you truly want to hit this goal, and then who do you need to surround yourself with to hit this. If you want to be wealthy, financially free, let's just say financially free and wealthy, and you are hanging around with a bunch of broke people who have a ton of debt and they're leasing everything, it's going to be really hard for you to get out of that trap. So real easily, when I said, get rid of the bad people in your life, it doesn't mean that they're all bad people. You have amazing people, but if they're enabling you to go down a path that's not going to lead you to where you want to go in life, you need to have a direct conversation with them. Hey, you're an amazing friend, but when it comes to fitness, you're not that great to hang out with. And when it comes to finance, you're not my person. And you need to surround yourself with people that are really going to help push you through the finish line.
What are some narratives? Like one that I coach a lot of my clients on, so I kind of lead this part and have you add in some others, is like traveling. I remember when I was doing that and I had those, similar goals, like when I would travel, where I'll use Australia as example. I would say those who has a great gym, who wants to meet me after the event to have where's the best place for amazing salads, so it's almost like you design by setting it up and leading it and have people come in versus setting it up the other way. It's like, no, we didn't say we're going to go out for nachos and a whole bunch of, fatty food. It was very clear. I want to go to a gym. I want to go, have, healthy food. Where's healthier food restaurants? Who wants to go with me? So I would lead by those conversations. I get way out in front of it. So I already set the narrative. I already set the tone of what I want to be doing and the kinds of things I want to be doing. So you just don't find yourself back in those traps with the people that you might have spent time with on the last trip or the last experience. Anything you want to add to how else they can support themselves, but they have to lead it. I mean, I always say there's some courageous conversations you got to have. Some people aren't used to leading with that much intention, but I think it's an enormous intentionality about getting those goals in your life.
Enormous. And you really have to peel everything back and you say, okay, I'm designing this life because this is the life I want to live. And then you have to start looking at every place where this is going to go to die, this is going to go to fail, self-sabotage. You are in complete control. So it's really your choice. Like, I know I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to Arizona tonight. I'm going to be there 3 days, coming home for 4 days, going to Washington, D.C., then going to Arizona. I know there's a lobster roll place in Washington, D.C. that I can just taste already. But I know that I have to develop the conversation. I have to develop the plan. I have to develop where I want to go, because if this is where I want to go long term, I have to look at that and start to build that conversation with other people. So I've already had this. So funny you're saying this. I've already had these conversations. I'm flying out to see Troy, the other founder of Oola, and he knows my goals. And he knows we always go to this. We're talking about nachos. We always go to this Mexican place for nachos when we get done shooting and filming. He already knows we're not doing that, because I've already told him we're not doing that. Find a different place. And he already found a new place that's got healthy options and all that. So it's really just you. Once you commit to something, you have to understand that you're designed for greatness and a purpose. You have this amazingness inside of you, but you have to follow a system to make that happen. You have to follow your path to make that happen. And you're worth it. You're amazing. Don't get sidetracked. And when you get sidetracked, get back on track. And that's how you're going to get to where you want to go. So when I land in a new city and rent a car, and my phone says, this is where you are right now. And I say, okay, now this is where I want to go. And my phone tells me how to get there. And I can get sidetracked and pull over at a restaurant or whatever, but it always gets me back on track to how am I going to get there? It's the same thing with life. If you say, I want to be debt free this year or pay off this credit card, I can do it, but this is the path I have to follow. well, then it's up to you to follow it. You have to be self-aware of why you want to make that happen and what are going to be your downfalls, what are going to be those blockers. But then you have to put just utmost importance on that, because this is our one life. Like, this is it. And if you want to live that life you want to live, it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. There's going to be people pulling you sideways all the time, but it's up to you to get there. When you're driving from point A to point B in a new city, there's billboards and restaurants and donut shops and coffee shops, everything pulling you off the road for your attention, but it's up to you to stay on track and on the path to get to your life. And you got to just make sure you set up that plan.
Absolutely. So you moved to Oola Global, right? And I love all of this. And you have so much work that supports it. And you move to this simple thing that everyone walks. I don't even say they walk around with it. It's like an appendage. So this appendage could help support them for $47 a month to get everything they want in all these areas. Talk about the app, talk about the system. And those of you that are serious, we're going to go to askloral.com/Oola. You can see it. If you don't know how to spell it, look right at Dave's shirt. It's really easy, right? OLA, there you go. So askloral.com and you'll get our app. I have a whole team of folks that will call and have that conversation with you. Those of you in our coaching programs, we're going to give you our coaching structures for the money side of these goals to put right in there. So you can just follow along. But talk about this, Dave. It's so powerful.
It is. It's amazing. And how it all started was we had launched Oola. We had launched events that are $1,500 to $2,000. They sell out. We launched coaching, all of that stuff. And we came to where we had over 1 million people following Oola, using Oola products, books, and all that. And Troy was actually talking about going back into retirement. This is a couple of years ago. And I said, what would it take for you to, this is only about 1.5 years ago. And I said, what would it take for you to keep doing this? And he goes, if we can come up with a system that will impact 1 billion people over the next 7 years. So we knew it had to be fully digital. I really wanted it to be fully customizable. So everybody has a different and unique experience, a unique personal development experience. And we knew it needed to be under $50. So we set out to create this, and we worked really hard with a full web and app development team to create the first ever fully customized personal development experience out there. And that's exactly what it is. So when someone enrolls as a member, or what's called an ambassador, if they want to use the product, but plus maybe they want to build a personal development business around that. Really what it is you go through what's called your Design Your Life Blueprint first, which creates a complete unique blueprint for your life using the smart formats. Everything's automated, so you have to do it. And it's all customized, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, or you're a single parent, or you're an entrepreneur, or whatever you are, how you're your student in high school. It customizes the whole product from you right from the beginning. And then you get to what's called your Oola Life dashboard. This is your Oola Life, and it has a breakthrough experience to help you break through everything that's going to get in your way and hold you back, all the blockers, all customized to you. So if your breakthrough needs to be around finance and setting budgets and getting debt free, that'll be designed around that. If your breakthrough needs to be around self-worth and self-sabotage issues, your breakthrough experience will be designed around that. So it's intuitive. This program learns you as you go through it and customizes, and then it puts you on a personalized path. So it really gives you a dashboard, and that dashboard gives you all your dreams, all your goals for your life, all your education, all your training you need. And all of that is wrapped in 2 cool things. One is this free accountability app that comes with it. I'm going to hold mine up real quick for those that are on video. This accountability app that comes with it that tracks all your action steps towards the life you want to live, all your goals there. You look at your goals, you write your action steps, your mini goals that you're going to achieve every day, and it just moves you towards where you want to go. And then it's wrapped in a community. It's wrapped in a community of thousands and thousands of people that are on this app, that are training, and you, like Loral, I mean, you're using this in your system now too, that are using this to live their real life. So you're never alone in this process, no matter what you're going through. Other people are going through similar things in this community, and you can bond with that community in what we call inner circles and master circles. So it's a fully comprehensive, customized personal development system that's been proven over the last 9 years, and now launched in July, and it's kind of gone bonkers. There's people all over the world using this system. It's pretty cool. And it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're excited to be part of it. Sharon Lecter's part of our team, as well as a lot of other amazing, successful, colleagues of mine that we're all using it. We all need something simple that is attached to us to remind us what we say we want to design. I'm going to start using that as we go through this first quarter, right? This is all about, getting commitments and results, not resolutions, because resolutions are so short-lived. And now we have partnered up with Dave, Troy, Sharon, and the team. So go to askloral.com/Oola, OOLA, And we'll meet you over there. And we have a whole team that will be leading this. And in every one of the programs that you're in, you're going to have that extra support system for those of you who really want it. And it's so reasonable, $47. I mean, people are spending more on coffee, gas, all this crazy stuff. I mean, time to get the life you want with this world that we're in right now. So Dave, thank you. Any last words?
Thank you so much.
For our audience?
No, I mean, I just think the biggest thing is that you are designed for greatness. So you have this amazingness inside of you, but so many of us, and we noticed that one of the cool experiences for us to go 50 miles an hour in a VW bus across the country. This was our tour. It was amazing. Went to all the Barnes & Noble book signs, everything in this bus, but meeting people, really meeting real people, not on Zoom, but meeting people face to face in literally every city across the country, every major city, and a lot of little towns. And to tell them that you're designed for something great, but you have to design your life, not live life by default. And it starts by taking action. And I think one of the greatest things you can do, I know one of the greatest things you can do is just go to this link that Loral's providing and say, how can I be a member in Oola and use this for my own life and be on Loral's team? Or maybe how can I be an ambassador and use this amazing product, but work with Loral to actually even maybe build a personal development business around if that's what you want to do. So there's a lot of opportunity with Loral and Oola coming together, and Sharon and so many other people that are in this space and saying this is the way to do it. And we're excited to be part of this. We're excited to partner with you on this as well.
Yeah. Thank you. I know you have to go.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
you so much.
Take care. So those of you who've been listening, again, you've been listening to Dr. Dave with Dr. Troy and myself on Oola. We are going to crush it. 2022, we want you, again, to design your life. So go to askloral.com/Oola. Those of you that are listening from a podcast, you always go to askloral.com. You can put in your name, your phone number, your email. You can ask a question, make a request, and say, I need some help. And we will have somebody calling you right away the next day. Talk to you soon. So this is Loral, and you've been listening to my podcast. If you've enjoyed this, I have a couple of things you can do that are completely up to you. Number one, take my quiz. Go to integratedwealthsystems.com and take the quiz. You will find that there's one of 4 personalities, financial personalities we call them, that you're going to fall into. So as you take the quiz, it'll actually go through and identify, are you in stagnant cash flow, right? Are you overpaying taxes? Do you have debt issues? Are you a lifestyle junkie? Where are you? And then from there, it goes to a video that actually gives you some solutions on how to correct that problem. So again, go to integratedwealthsystems.com, take my quiz, and we'll go from there.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langemeier, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth-building gifts only for Loral's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Loral? Visit askloral.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.